I want to call the Daviess County April 18th fiscal court meeting to order. Commissioner Koger, would you lead us in a prayer and the pledge?
I will. Maybe pray. Lord, we praise and thank you for all of our blessings. Please continue to guide the members of this body in your willful direction. Lord, remind us that it is you that we truly serve and serving the citizens of this community. We praise you for entrusting us to lead our country. Pray for our firemen, policemen, military, and first responders to always be safe. All this we pray through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner, and once again, I want to welcome everyone to our April 18th, 2019 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. I apologize for my voice, and in the middle of it, if it leaves me, I may have to turn this meeting over to somebody else to run. Sherry, and I'm probably going to call you Shirley once or twice tonight, but would you get us started? Our first item, if you would read that. And
Closeout documents for the 2018-2019 Community Development Block Grant Funds for Owensboro Regional Recovery.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so folks can comment on the documents for a CDBG grant that we received to help with the operations of the Owensboro Regional Recovery. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to say anything regarding that? Come ahead.
Thanks, Judge. I've got my water up here too. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, just like Judge is. Judge, do you want to do these separate, the application and the closeout?
We're going to do them separate.
Okay.
If you would identify yourself,
Hi,
please.
yes. Jennifer Marks from the grad office.
Okay.
A lot of you I've worked with, some of you I haven't, do this on a yearly basis. But yes, as she mentioned, this is a closeout for the Owensboro Regional Recovery Community Development Block Grant that we applied for in 2018. In 2018, the funding that we did receive was a $200,000 grant through Community Development Block Grant. Owensboro Regional Recovery is a drug and rehabilitation center, which Sarah is here to tell you a little bit more about that later. That's her expertise. But since it opened its doors in 2010, it has served over 2,000 men. So we find it to be a very diligent, worthwhile application that we submit yearly on behalf of the fiscal court. The closeout is a pretty simple thing, so unless anybody has any major questions or anything like that, we just submit the numbers and the work that they did throughout the year and stuff like that to Department for Local Government so that they're aware of everything that had went on throughout the year.
These funds were used for the operation of the center.
Yes, for salaries,
right,
for operational costs for Owensboro Regional Recovery.
And unfortunately, over the past few years, we've seen a reduction.
We have.
In those funds. Has it seemed to steady? Is it steadied out now?
It has been 200 for the past 3 years since I've been working on it, so I would assume
we don't anticipate any reduction, because
that's the hope.
The Owensboro Regional Recovery does a heck of a good job.
It does.
And just advertising, I'm sure this September they will have their annual family come home, come back. Mm-hmm. It's really it's a wonderful occasion to see what impact that community-supported organization has on people who have an illness of substance abuse. And
right,
they're all forms of substance abuse. Everybody thinks about drugs, but there's alcohol, other things as well. So, Commissioners, any question of Jennifer?
I just got a question. I hope this continues because we really need to keep this program going.
Gotcha.
And this is a men's organization. We have a sister organization in Henderson for women, I think.
Yes, it's WARM, Women's Addiction Recovery Manor,
okay,
in Henderson, and they do the same thing as ORR does.
There is a requirement out there, and Sarah, I keep looking at you past Jennifer, but there isn't the requirement that 50 of those, half the beds have to be for local folks. You can stand up, but you also have to speak. So come up to the microphone real quick and identify yourself.
Hi,
I'm Sarah Adkins. I'm the director at Owensboro Regional Recovery. So about 60% of our clients are from Daviess and the surrounding counties, this part of the state. The other 40% roughly are from outside of our area, but they're also Kentuckians. So they may come to us from, other parts of Kentucky. So we are very, it's called regional recovery. We definitely do serve this region.
Anyone here that would like to speak on the closeout documents? Don't see any takers, so Sherry, would you read the second part of it for us?
Submission of a 2019-2020 Community Development Block Grant application for Owensboro Regional Recovery.
Jennifer?
Thank you, Judge. Yes, so again, as we did this past year, we are also submitting another application for Owensboro Regional Recovery in the amount of $200,000. That is an amount that is set for us by the state. We don't get to change that. They tell us, and that's what we do. This past year, they have allotted about $3.1 million for the recovery centers in Kentucky, and so each one gets to apply for that amount. One of the other things that they always want us to mention that these public hearings are for is to inform low to moderate income individuals that there is technical assistance available through GRAD for housing programs with low to moderate income. So if anybody needs help with that, you all know you can always call us and we're there. The funds that are going to be applied for this year are again going to be utilized for staff salaries, operational costs, things like that. We don't see any anticipation of anything being anything lower, like we said. Again, we are applying for that amount, but that doesn't mean that that's, so I just always like to let you guys know that there should be no issues there. The last thing, because the money does come from from HUD, we do have to mention that there has been no one displaced with this project. There will be no one displaced with this project, and there doesn't plan to ever be anybody displaced because of this project. If you guys would like a copy of the displacement resolution that we have with Daviess County Fiscal Court, there's a copy here as well as a copy at GRAD. So whichever one, you're more than welcome to
And because
call.
it's HUD, you don't discriminate against anyone. You take
Correct.
any and all comers as long as they fit the description required by the Commonwealth.
Right.
Correct.
Correct. So
Did you say there was $3.1 million available?
$3.1 million for the recovery centers alone. There's $22.1 million for CDBGs this year,
Okay.
Community Development Block Grants.
The
Sorry.
3.1, how many centers are there? I was thinking there was 10 centers.
I was thinking that as well, and I don't want to speak
All right.
out of turn.
Sarah, come on, stand up, and you can speak again. Tell us.
So
There are actually 16 centers
Okay.
now, and that's the reason why our funds have gone down over the years. When we first opened, we were the 9th of 10.
Okay.
Then as these other centers have opened after us, that 3.1 million has stayed the same, but the number of organizations splitting it has increased. So
Yeah.
that's why our portion of that pie has gotten a bit
Well,
smaller.
that's why I
over
asked the
years.
question. The math didn't work at
Yeah.
first with just 10. So anyway, commissioners, Jennifer, anything else that you are
that's all that
required?
we have with regards to the application. We plan to submit it within the next month. So-
Commissioners, any question or comment? Is there anyone from the public who would like to make a statement or a comment regarding the application for the CDBG grant? That's a whole lot of words to say real fast when you can't even hear yourself speaking. Okay, if there are, and you might make sure in the notes that no one was here to comment, then I would declare the public meeting closed.
Okay.
And Jennifer, thank you, and Sarah, I assume you're going to be here earlier. I'm not sure that you're needed to be here if you don't want to be here. Absolutely, come on forward, then I won't close the meeting just yet, so.
I just wanted to, first of all, thank you all for the support that you all give us. I know you guys have been attending our events over the years, and it's really good to see you all there. And it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to our clients, too, that our local government supports us in what we do. I just wanted to mention a couple things. Jennifer already mentioned that we have served almost 2,400 men since we opened in February of 2010. We have quite a few alumni now, if you could, we call them alumni, and we have some folks that are really doing some great things. I mean, among men who have gotten, of course, GEDs, have learned trades, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and right now we have one working on a PhD. That a gentleman that came to us when he was very young, about 20 years old, and he's now finished college and has gone on to bigger and better things. We have men who have opened businesses. We have men who are leading organizations here in town. You all know some of them. We have people who have bought homes, who have made amazing accomplishments with their families. We see this as just a success. This is what we do. This is what we strive for. Not everyone gets there, but it's amazing to see the people that do and how they can affect their community positively. So much so that the Recovery Kentucky Centers are being studied by other states. This summer we had a visit from some folks from Georgia. I used to live in Georgia and worked for the Department of Corrections, and so we were able to get some Georgia folks up here from the Department of Corrections to sit in on our program and just spend a day with us. And they went back to Georgia and carried our message and said, this is transformational, what's going on here. And they're now working on getting something like that started down in Georgia. There's also interest in Tennessee and Indiana, Michigan, Montana, a whole lot of different states that are wanting to do what we do here in Owensboro. As she mentioned, our funding from CDBG has gone down over the years, so we've had to make that difference up with fundraising. We do various events throughout the year. Our next one coming up is the Golf Scramble on June 7th, so if anybody wants to come play golf with us, we always have a good day that day out at Ben Hawes. We are able to provide our services at no cost to our clients or their families, which is something rather unique in the world of substance abuse services, that we're able to do that without cost. And then Judge Mattingly already mentioned our Alumni Day, which is our huge community-wide celebration picnic that we will have on September the 7th. And everyone is invited to come to that as well out at our facility, and it is open to the public, and we just look forward to that day. Have a good time. So,
Well, as someone who had a brother who recovered from a substance abuse problem, I know and as a brother and a family member, I know the really great work that you guys do, and I know the feeling of respect and gratitude that those family members have toward folks like you. Just one question. The people from Georgia, were they the good old boys or the redneck boys from Georgia? which because there are only two kinds of boys down there.
I think they were UGA fans. Does that fit in anywhere?
Yeah, that's well.
Not Tech.
Since
UGA.
we have the dance team girls out here, I can't tell you what I think about them. So, all right. Anything else?
Thank you.
You do not need to be here for the rest of the meeting. I think everything will pass. Commissioner, did you have something you wanted to say?
I was just going to say thank you for all you do.
Thank
Okay.
you all. We appreciate it.
I'd like
Now,
to add to it,
yes.
for me.
Okay.
You're not going anywhere. I have seen the work that you have done and are doing, and it's just outstanding. And but them Georgia folks can come up here and visit, but you're not going to Georgia. Okay?
Well, I'll go back to visit. That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Thank you.
Okay, then if there are no other comments, I declare the meeting closed. It would have been nice if Jacob Mulligan had been here from the Messenger to write a good story about this, but I noticed he came in late. Oh, yeah, no excuses. In Daviess Countyans, we take no excuses. So with that being said, I will open the Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. Are you ready, Sherry?
Sir. Item 1, recognition presentation, A, National Champions Daviess County High School Dance Team.
All right, well, folks, let's just recognize them. I would, first of all, I'd ask their coach to come forward and just kind of talk. Where's the coach at? if you don't voluntarily come up, I will call you out by name and tell us a little bit about the ladies and introduce us to them. And I'm absolutely interested in the first place in small varsity hip hop,
Okay.
whatever the heck that is. And then I think that I have enough votes to pass a resolution that Commissioner Castlin will come out in the audience and lead you in a round of clogging.
Nice, yes.
Well, I've got the votes. Do I have the votes? That's what I thought. So the podium's yours. Identify yourself, please, and then maybe identify the girls, and let's see who all we've got here.
My name is Debbie Connor, and I'm the head coach of Daviess County High School. This is my daughter, Kendall, and she is the assistant coach. We have one other coach, Kelsey Frields, and she's not here tonight. We have 12 on our team. One is not here tonight, but we also have one important person on the team that keeps getting called a girl, but we do have one male, and that is Ellis Burkhead. Ellis Burkhead right here.
He's probably the smartest guy at Daviess County. If you
That's
ask
right. Yes, he is. He's very talented. He's a senior.
Yeah.
We have 4 seniors this year. We have Ellis. We have Emma Smith. I almost did forget her name. She's been with me for 4 years, and I call her everything but Emma. That's Emma Smith, and we have Kaylee Hall, and we have Celine Lee. Those are our seniors. We have Maggie Clark is our only, she's our only junior we have this year. We have Alexa McDuffie is a freshman. Brianna Heron is a sophomore. Lexi Coombs is a freshman. Hope Miles is a sophomore. Tariana Inman is a sophomore. And Kyra Rowan is a sophomore, and we have one more that's not here, and that is Caitlin Ahart, and she is a sophomore.
Okay. So you won a national championship?
We did.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I've not met too many national champions before, have you? You guys did better than Big Blue Nation. You brought back a national
right.
championship,
That's
and they
right. We
didn't
brought
bring us
back the
back
big
but
one.
an Elite Eight appearance, I guess. All right, so did you put together a routine for us that you're going to demonstrate?
Perform tonight. We could do it. Do y'all want to do it?
Huh? Really? Where's the guy on that team? Get him up here and do something. All right. Well, we're not gonna make you do that, and we're not gonna make Commissioner Castlin lead you in hip hop. But we would like to get our picture taken with you. If
We would love that. Thank you.
So if you would line up down here, and commissioners will go out front. We appreciate you coming, and we just wanted to recognize you and honor you and say thank you on behalf of all the citizens of Daviess County. So you don't have to stay. If I were you, I would leave. See ya. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Come back anytime, though.
Thank you. Hopefully next year.
There you go.
There you
Next
go.
year, bring that hip-hop stuff back.
Wonder where they had to go.
I don't know. Yeah. All right. Sherry.
B,
Go ahead.
B, status of insurance premium tax convention center.
Mr. Hendricks.
Yes, Judge, you have a report in your packet. And the reason that is there is the ordinance that passed the insurance premium tax 4% that was placed to fund the convention center. One of the provisions in that is required us to do a report on the status of the insurance premium tax every 5 years. So we did the last one in 2014, and this is the second 5-year report. As you recall, the 4% insurance premium tax was enacted in 2 phases. 2% went into effect July 1, 2009. An additional 2% went into effect July 2010. The convention center debt was actually issued in January of 2010 with an original maturity date of 2030. It was issued in 2 pieces. The first piece, the majority of it was in 2010A, and $980,000 was in 2010B because we qualified for a Recovery Zone Economic Development Bond that was part of the ARA program. In December 14, we actually refunded the 2010 piece. The new series was designated as 2014. We had accumulated enough of the tax to pay down $500,000 of the debt, and along with the increased revenue, we were able to shorten the maturity date by 6 years down to 2024. On a present value basis, that was a savings of $1.9 million. The interest rate dropped from 3.28 to 1.8%. Series 2010B is still there, but on August 1st of this year, I anticipate refunding that. There should be a savings of about $180,000 to do that. As of March 31st, the insurance premium tax collected has been $17.3 million. Total debt service paid was $16.8 million. The interest rebate that we received from the IRS was $1.5, which decreased the expense to a net of $15.3. Therefore, insurance premium tax funds available at March 31st are $2 million. I have reserved $1.1 million of that to recall the RZEDB bonds on August 1st, and that would leave an excess at this point of $900,000. Currently, the annual debt service is $1.8 million, and the current insurance premium tax revenue is $2.2 million. So we will receive an excess each year. Trending this forward, we should be able to reduce the payoff date from 2024 to sometime in 2022 at this point. The ordinance does have a sunset clause, and even though the way we finance the bonds, we can't pay them early, once we receive enough revenue to service the debt over the remaining years, tax comes off. So the taxpayers don't have to wait until we actually pay it off. They just, once we receive enough money to service the rest of the debt, the tax must come off. And again, my latest estimate for that is sometime in 2022. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So in the end, it looks like we're going to be about 7 years early.
Yes, sir.
In paying the debt off that was intended to be a 20-year debt. It's going to end up being a 13-year debt.
Yes.
And at the end of the point where we've accumulated enough in the fund, even though we're not going to pay it off, we can't pay it off by the covenants.
Right. What we'll do is
agreement.
pay a trustee,
Right.
and they will service the debt until it's finished.
They will hold the funds, and when it's time to pay off, they will pay off. But at the time we have received enough or accumulated enough in that fund, we will then reduce the insurance premium tax on those folks who live outside the corporate limits of the city of Owensboro from 8.9 back to 4.9, I think.
That's correct.
Yes. Okay. Yes, sir.
This is, I'll try to make it, whenever we reach a point where we have enough money, if it's halfway to pay the debt, if it's halfway through the year, how are we gonna?
What I do, I mean, this was put in here every 5 years to make sure it was looked at. I actually look at it every month. It's part of my analysis work. So I look at it every month. What will happen if we're able to predict it accurately? If I see it's going to run out in sometime in 2022, I will try to time it where, like, we don't pay it off in 2 months in 2022 and then over-collect. Because there's a process. We can't do it overnight. We have to let once a year, well, I don't know if it has to be once a year, 100 days in advance, I have to let the Department of Insurance know what the rate's gonna be. So I can't, like, hit the target today and take it off tomorrow. So there's a process. One method would be, if I see we don't need the full year, we could reduce the rate to last year.
That's what I was.
So there are a number of options that we will look at depending upon, now, if it's going to come in within a month or two, it won't matter. Just let it play out. But that last year, I will try to let you know early enough to make a decision where we can notify the Department of Insurance in time, where we don't want to over-collect at all. We don't want to over-collect any, will be our goal. I mean, if it's really short, let's just say you come up at the end of 2021, you owe $100,000. Court could just elect to pay it.
My
We're
question
done.
was, are there any provisions in that would prevent us from using general funds,
You could
general
do that.
revenue funds?
You could do that, and it's too early because
Right.
each year's different. Rate, it has been going up, doesn't mean it will continue.
Right.
But as we get, in that, especially that last 24 months, I will be looking at that very, very closely to give the court options.
But we can reduce the rate for, say, the last year.
Sure.
To make it hit the target.
The court has that option.
Okay.
Commissioner?
I just wanted to ask, is the, in your handout you gave us and that what you just went over, you make reference to the Series 2010B is going to be called on August 1, 2019. And you mentioned the savings. And then up at the top, you've got an RZEDB call. Is that the same? It's the same date. Is that the same bond, or are they two different bonds?
It's the same.
Okay.
That is, yeah, that Series 2010B
Okay.
is the RZEDB piece.
Okay.
And the reason it's different, we got 10% more rebate. The other debt got 35%.
Okay.
That qualified for 45%. It was just a special program that they had in Kentucky, and our county qualified for $980,000. They did an allocation, so it's a long story, but that's why that's different. And anyway, we just got a 10% better rebate.
Okay. That's all.
Well, Commissioner, any other questions? All I can say is I want to thank our staff and this commission for continually looking at it and taking advantage of lower interest rates so that we could refinance and pay off some of the principal with the excess that we had in there, which is going to allow us to really think about a reduction by almost 50% of your insurance premium. And that affects anybody and everybody who pays insurance. So thank you, Mr. Treasurer. A copy of this, if anybody wanted, it's in our files here at the courthouse, and they could come in and ask for it. Next item.
See Treasurer's Report for March 2019.
Mr. Hendricks.
Cash at March 31st was $32,523,403. General fund, $14,045,549. All fund balances are operating within expected limits.
Any question or comment for the treasurer? Again, a copy of this report is in our files, and anyone that would like to see it is welcome to ask for it. Next item.
D, Daviess County Extension District 2019-2020 budget.
Commissioners, I don't see Clint Hardy here. I'm gonna have to figure out where he is. I think in your packet is a extension district budget. They are a special governmental entity. They must report. You're gonna do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's an old statute that requires the extension office to send their budget to the court, and because of the SBGE, we thought they wouldn't have to do it anymore, but they were told 2 years ago they would not get their funding from UK unless they did. So fiscal court's really not voting to approve this.
Correct.
They are absolutely required to send it to the fiscal court in order to get their funding, so.
Okay. I might say I sat on that board, and Originally, back some years ago, their tax rate was 0.9% per $100 valuation. If you look at the new tax rate, it's 0.85 something percent of per $100 valuation. They do an excellent job. I've often heard people ask, how in the world does the extension district operate on such a small tax? It's because you got a bunch of farmers on there, and they watch every penny. And they've got a judge executive that's looking over their shoulder as well. So they do a good job. I want to say thank you to Clint and all the folks that serve on the board. Again, a copy of this budget is on file with Fiscal Court, and anyone is welcome to come in and see it at any time. And Mr. Hendricks will be more than willing to explain it to them. Next item.
To consideration for approval, A, minutes of the April 4th, 2019 court meeting.
Move to approve.
I have a motion, second. Commissioners, you all had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession. Any questions of the treasurer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
C, fund transfers for April 18th, 2019.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Hendricks.
Request the court's approval to transfer $350,000 from the general fund to the jail fund, $825,000 from the general fund to the road fund, $700,000 from the general fund to the bond fund. These transfers were budgeted and are normal quarterly transfers.
Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
D, resolution 07-2019, Owensboro Regional Recovery 2019-2020 CDBG funding.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, Commissioners, you heard Sarah and Jennifer explain why we were doing this and what the funds are being used for. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
E, legally binding agreement with Audubon Area Community Services regarding Owensboro Regional Recovery 2019-2020 CDBG funding, contingent upon CDBG funding approval.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Again, Commissioners, this relates to the explanation that Jennifer and Sarah gave us. Any question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
F, resolution 08-2019, County Road Aid Co-op Program contract and approval of said contract.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion, second. I think Jim is the one that's going to do this, but I'm going to ask Mark Brasher, the engineer, to do it because I know we can't, and he'll just defer to Jim anyway.
I will defer to Jim, please.
Okay. Mr. Treasurer.
The county road aid agreement is an agreement the court enters into annually with the state. It's the primary funding for the road fund. The agreement is typical. It spells out who is responsible for what the funds are to be used for, and then spells out all the details of that. The total for this year is $1,505,886. There's a 3% holdback for the emergency fund, and our net, which we budgeted, is $1,467,10, which we will receive in two pieces. First will be a 60% distribution, and then the remainder later in the year. I've reviewed it. It appears in order. I would recommend approval.
Commissioners, any question or comment? Mr. Treasurer or Mr. Engineer, you talked about the 3% holdback that goes into an insurance fund, an emergency fund. Can you kind of give us an explanation of that? Mark?
Yeah, I believe all counties, but two across the state participate in this. Just in case bridge collapse, no one had funding, they can put in and take advantage of this emergency fund. I think it's open to, like I said, everybody that participates and holds back this 3%.
Have we ever taken advantage of that fund?
Not since I've been here.
I don't recall that we have.
Okay.
We try to get stuff done before they fall
We,
apart.
yeah, we, that's in our, call our preventive maintenance and capital projects and looking ahead so that we don't have that.
Correct.
But there are some places, particularly up in the eastern part and down in the western part, when we have floods and they wash out roads, they wash out
I'm
bridges.
aware of a couple that have happened
Yeah,
here
that
recently.
They do take advantage, and I mean, it's, to me, it's worth, 3% of $1 million is what, $30,000?
Yeah, you're looking at several $100,000 for each and every bridge.
Pretty cheap insurance. Any other question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
G, Resolution 09-2019 Municipal Aid Co-op Program Contract and approval of said contract.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and second. I assume the county engineer will defer to the county treasurer again.
I will.
Thank you. Mr. Treasurer.
This agreement is very similar to the prior one, with the main exception being, instead of county road aid, this is for municipal road aid. It's for a total of $267,685.90. The agreement is in order. I recommend approval.
Question or comment? Being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
H, award the following bid number 092019 WKUO Building Roof Replacement. Bid number 102019 Operations Center Roof Replacement.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Jordan, if you would, go through each of them separately, stop, pause. I will ask the commissioners if they have any questions, okay?
Certainly, Judge. On March 14th of this year, we had a severe wind event that damaged the roofs of the WKUO building, Operations Center Administration building, and our animal shelter. These two bids are in response to that damage. Starting with bid number 9, 2019, this is to replace the damaged portion of the WKUO building roof. We received two bids ranging from $22,198 to $22,705 and recommend the lowest and best evaluated bid of Bruce's Tri-State Roofing in the amount of $22,198. There were no exceptions to the bid. This amount will be reimbursed by insurance. I recommend approval.
Okay, any questions, Commissioner? Any comments?
Only question, is this for the whole roof?
50%.
50%, okay, thank you.
Any other question or comment? Next one, Jordan.
Bid 10, 2019 is to fully replace the roofs of the Operations Center, Admin Building, and the Animal Shelter. We received three bids ranging from $58,716 to $68,446. You'll see that we did bid an alternate that substituted the shingle roof of the Animal Shelter only for standing seam metal. However, that expense was outside of what we would consider appropriate for recommendation. That said, we recommend the lowest and best evaluated bid of Herb Gibbs Construction in the amount of $58,716. There were no exceptions to the bid. This amount will also be reimbursed by insurance. I recommend approval.
Okay. Jordan, one of the reasons we looked at an alternate is because those buildings are on the downstream side of the wind. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the roofing that was originally used is not the type of roofing that we would buy today. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the roofing on the base bid is a heavier and rated, has a higher wind rating and a longer life than what was on there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. What we expect is of a higher grade. It is rated at 130 mile per hour winds. It should be more than sufficient.
Right. It would have been nice perhaps to go into and looked at the metal roofing. Actually, one of the things I got to thinking after we did that with the animal shelter and the materials that roof would be exposed to, the underside of the decking, I'm not sure that it would have lasted as long as we would have liked it to have lasted. Any question or comment?
I just have one. I was wondering
Yes.
why Herb Gibbs Construction didn't bid on both projects.
The bid alternate, he had no interest in a standing seam metal roof.
And there's a standing seam, and then there's another that uses clips with a screw down with a rubber gasket, I think. A lot of people will do that, but I wouldn't put that kind, because once the gasket deteriorates in the sunlight, you're gonna have as much trouble. You'll be up there caulking around those, each one of those. So I think what we've done here, and these are for the entire roof
Yes.
on the
This is
animal
a full
shelter, the
replacement.
entire roof on the op center. Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
I apologize, Commissioner. Was your question why Herb Gibbs Construction did not bid on the
Yes.
WKUO building?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that I have no idea.
Okay.
Judge,
Jerk.
I thought Jordan said that it was for half a roof, and you said it was for.
WKU is half roof.
Okay,
The other two are for full
okay,
roofs.
all right,
Okay?
all right.
Any other question? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Jordan. I know that you enjoy roofing as much as Joe Paul does. Next item.
Hire Eric Smith as a public works mechanic effective 4/22/19, subject to successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, this is a replacement mechanic. Isn't that correct, Mark? We're not adding.
That is
adding, to our staff. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
J, hire engineering department summer interns Alyssa Bickett and Christina Wathen effective May 6, 2019.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioner Wathen, I assume you'll recuse yourself from this bid since the young lady there at the end happens to be very near and dear to your heart.
I gave her name.
There you go. Are these, I know that Christina is returning. Is the other lady returning as well?
Alyssa's returning.
Okay, so they worked last year with us. I
Christina
think
did
Christina
not.
probably, or Christina worked actually down here this, yeah, okay. Any other question or comment? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries, and let it reflect that Commissioner Wathen abstained.
Item 3, consideration for appointments. A, Davis County Parks Board. Langley Roby, Bill Duncan, Bruce Kegel, Steve Lewis, all with the term of 4/1/19 to 4/1/2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, as you look down through here, Langley Roby is replacing Duke Smith, who served for a term of 5 years, probably one of the longest serving members that we have. I want to tell Duke, or say to Duke, thank you for your service. Mr. Roby was an associate director or an auxiliary director. Is that the case, George?
I'm not sure.
Ex officio, I was thinking that we had moved him up to, from ex officio.
We did move her up
Okay.
from
Okay.
officio.
Then Bill Duncan is ex officio, replacing Langley Roby, who served a partial term. And what we try to do is get the potential members of the commission on the board as ex officio members and move them up in the rotation. Bruce Kegel is returning. I suspect this will be the last year that Mr. Kegel is appointed to that. Steve Lewis has served 3 terms, done an excellent job. He's a young realtor, young family man in this community. So I want to thank Stephen for his term on the Parks Board. Know he'll do a good job going forward. Any question or comment?
I just want to publicly thank Duke Smith. He was torn, but he felt like it was a good time for him to step down off the board. He's been on there a long time, and he really does a good job. He's really interested in the parks and making things happen. So thank you to Duke.
Okay. Any other question or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Item 4, consideration for discussion. A, advertise the following annual bids.
Commissioners, this is just to inform you of some of the bids that we are preparing and going to market with. Pavement striping, ready-mix concrete, cover pipe, crushed limestone, bulk delivered fuels, recycling services, tire repair and maintenance. Those are all annual bids that we do. Jordan, will we have them ready when?
Very likely the court meeting after the next.
Okay, so the last court meeting in May, these will be brought before us. Okay. Next item.
B, other business.
I'm not aware of any. Next item.
C, public comments.
This is the time in which we invite the public to come forward, identify themselves, and they're welcome to speak on anything other than what was on the agenda. I know that Nahid Mataza wanted to be here tonight to tell us about the result of the diversity study that the Human Relations Commission was sponsoring. She couldn't make it, but at Taylor Lecture Hall at Brescia College on April 30th at 1 p.m., the results of those will be made public. So I know that everybody is waiting and interested in what's going on. Nahid would have been here if she could have been. Next item.
D, employee anniversary recognition.
I have none that I know of. Next.
E, comments by Davis County Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Koger.
I wish everybody a happy Easter. I'm looking forward to next Thursday for our budget work session to get started.
Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
24th, okay.
Yeah, Wednesday.
It's my birthday, whatever day that is. I'm still looking forward to it.
Okay. There's something wrong with you, Commissioner. Anything else? Anything else?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Commissioner Watson.
Well, as he said, I hope everybody has a good Easter, and just in case anybody's wondering, don't wait for me, go ahead and hide the eggs.
Yeah, but just give him a map where you hit them. Commissioner Castlin.
Well, I'm gonna join the other commissioners saying a happy Easter to everybody, and beyond that, I'll pass.
Okay. Yep, happy Easter from the commission and this court to all of our Davis County citizens. I would like to ask that everyone keep Commissioner Koger in the prayers as he goes in to get a new knee in, what, 2 weeks?
April 25th.
April 20. Oh, okay.
That's my
So,
birthday
yeah,
present.
there you go. So let me assure you that you will love it once you do it, because I've done it twice. But we'll be thinking about you, Mike. I asked Donna to give us a call and let us know how that went. The last fish fry, and the only fish fry that I know of, is at Whitesville tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock. Brett Guthrie and Suzanne Miles will be there, so if you want to raise Cain with the federal government and the state government all in one setting and eat some good fish, you need to attend that.
So is there a pie auction the following week?
Their pie auction is May 3rd, yeah. So you've been saving your money so that you could buy a pie?
I am. I'm gonna buy that pineapple upside down cake.
I doubt that. Commissioner Castlin.
I'm gonna run your bid up.
Okay, well, let me put it to you this way. When the bids got above 2 figures, Commissioner Castlin would start to shake and get a little nauseated. So, and that pineapple upside down cake will go north of $1,000, I would imagine. So I think you'll probably be left way behind. How's tax season? Tax season over?
Well, the stressful part is.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, all right. But that, a good point, the pie auction, which benefits the Wendell Foster Center.
Yes.
So it's a wonderful event if you've not been to it, and it is May 3rd. It's a Friday. So last
Bring your checkbook so you can run up the bids.
one other thing I might say, the last symphony of the season will be this Saturday, and it's going to be a really great symphony. I found it odd that it'd be on Easter Saturday, but apparently between Good Friday and Easter Sunday, people don't have anything to do, so that will be going on. I can't think of anything else that I should say. David, anything I should have said? I did go to Washington, D.C. last week, met with all the big wigs up there, was unsuccessful in getting anything, I think. I tried to ask them where they got all their money. They took me to a printing press in the back room. So,
Be closed tomorrow afternoon.
I'm sorry.
Be closed.
Davis County Fiscal Court will be, our offices will be open until noon. Now, the clerk and PVA, are they closed all day? Do they close at noon as well? I think they're closed all day too, but I would suggest if anyone, yes. Okay. Okay. Why would I even take the word of somebody that comes in late as to knowing what they're talking about? Let me suggest to you, if you have business with Daviess County Fiscal Court, we're here till noon. If you do not, and you have business with the clerk or the PVA, I would call before I came down. If there's no other business to be brought before Daviess County Fiscal Court, without exception,